Okay. You should be going. Go ahead.
My talk is flying to Supermicro. October 3rd, 2018, Bloomberg published a story about China hacking the global electronic supply chain.
Oh, yeah.
Access is snooping of Supermicro's end users. And there's a report used 17 unnamed government sources and 100 plus interviews. And it says the spy ship placed between the baseboard controller and the flash memory and try to get the traffic bitstream between the memory and the controller. And Supermicro is a company headquartered in San Jose, founded by Taiwanese American Charlie Lang. And the company specializes in servers and server motherboards. It engineers its motherboards and servers in the US and manufactured by contractor in China. Its sales about 2 billion in 2016 and 2,600 employees. And Supermicro denies the hacking story. It says it uses control product manufacturing. It checks every board, and check every layers, every board, and check the board's design visually and functionally. And has employees on site, contractors throughout the process, and spot check and X-ray scan of the motherboards. And it also perform regular audits of contract manufacturing, and its product development is designed so that no single employee, a team, or contractor has unlimited access to the complete motherboard design. And outside of this, the denial, FBI, NSA, US Department, Homeland Security, and the UK spy agency all questioned the Bloomberg report, and Apple and Amazon also denied the report. Given all the denials, and one of the possible explanation is Bloomberg was led by some intelligence agencies that was spread, and it's the possibility of Chinese interference in the global electronic supply chains, and Bloomberg just reporting the intelligence misinformation campaign. And in May of this year, Supermicro announced it's moving its production out of China because all the spying claims, and its revenue is declined 10% after the quarters, and the story still continues. And the last time is the guy in Bloomberg report got promoted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bloomberg promoted the author. Yeah.
Well, they may be right because they have hundreds of some plus interviews, so they think they're right.
They do think they're right.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
He fit within the time.
You have to. Last time you cut me off.
And, good. Well, who else? You want to go? Okay. Which machine you want? This one?
No, I have mine.
Good. Okay. Well, then carry on. We're all set to go. Okay. Good. Good.
No, Kirk, if you ever get into teaching, and I really encourage you to get into teaching, Kirk, time management is going to be like your biggest thing. So, but let me pull up my timer.
Time management is a good thing.
Yes. Stopwatch. Okay. I'm going to hop mine.
Okay. Well, that's right. You're going to publish to, that's not good. Just join the Zoom session. That's all.
Yep. I just need to switch over to HDMI source computer.
Yeah.
One more. The first person needs to stop sharing.
You have to set output to multi-mode.
I mean, it's outputting to
I'm going to pause the
HDMI.
recording. Okay.
So North Korea has, I'll start my timer too. So North Korea has its own operating system called Redstar OS, and I downloaded it and I ran it.
Good. It must be stolen, right?
Yes, it is stolen. So it was smuggled out of the country illegally. So it's the North Korean operating system. It was programmed entirely by Kim Jong-un, designed by Kim Jong-un, and based on Linux, which was created by Kim Jong-un.
Does he say that?
Somewhat, yes. So Kim Jong-un, so everyone's very jealous. So the version I got was version 3.0. It's very hard to get your hands on the latest version. There is a 4.0, but it hasn't been released yet. It's based on Fedora, Linux / Red Hat. So yeah, most of the computers in North Korea actually run Windows, not their Linux. This is, so the distro comes on a big ISO. You install it like any other Linux distro. By default, the installer's in Korean, but if you edit the ISO, like what I did here, I just found where it said language equals KL. I just changed it to EN, and I got an English installer. You see, so now it's just use Anaconda. It's Fedora. So for some reason, when you select the time zone, you can't select South Korea. I don't know why.
I love this show.
And the date here is really interesting. So this is the 108th year since the founding of the birth of the original Kim Jong. Something. So that's the calendar they use.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un, in all his brilliance, decided to make the operating system look like Mac OS. Or should I say, Apple got so jealous that they went and stole Kim Jong-un's idea back in time. It contains like docking applet with magnification, universal menu bar, that kind of stuff. But what really got me is that they even have like the application folder and the root directory that has like the .app folders with the programs in it. Like it is exactly like Mac OS. So this is what the desktop looks like. It looks exactly like Mac OS. You can see the dock down there. So this is the applications directory, and you can see there's like calculator.app, just like Mac OS. This is ridiculous. That's what got me. So now we always talk about how poor, how bad we feel for the people in North Korea. I just want to remind you that in addition to the poverty and the human rights abuses, they're all forced to use OpenOffice by default. So sudo's installed on the system. But you only get sort of somewhat access, but it's easy to get more. And there's some default ports open for cups and Samba, but nothing that I saw that was really like, oh, North Korea is going to sneak in and have control of your computer, like a VNC server running all the time. So by default, you can run these. These two are very interesting. These are both spyware, and you can run them as root. Very nice of North Korea to do that. But you can run this program called root setting to give yourself root access.
1 minute.
Yes, 1 minute, yes. And so you have cups and Samba open by default. Yeah, that's Samba. So the OS watermarks all media on the system. So with a unique identifier, so if you download a PNG or a movie file, it'll watermark it. And all other computers it goes to, so North Korea can get your co-conspirators. It also has a virus scanner that will detect unauthorized documents and delete them from your system. And they don't really mention what they do. They just have these applications here that's, so there's a web browser that's a modification of Firefox. And I do want to show you a few things. So they don't use DNS in North Korea. They just use IPs. So you can see the main IP here for Firefox is 10.76.1.11. And they have very few certs for some reason. Like they don't want to put certs from Western countries in here. They just have the certs found in North Korea. And Red Hat, I mentioned this is Fedora / Red Hat. Red Hat is very common on North Korean servers. So North Korea only has about 1,024 public IP addresses, and most of them either run like Windows or Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So what I learned is it's not isn't secure as I thought it was going to be. I thought there would be like tons of backdoors and everything you could get in. I mean, it's old software, so I expect there to be bugs. But the focus is on spyware. So they have these applications that essentially control the flow of information. And that's what North Korea is interested in with this operating system.
Yeah. Well, good.
That's it.
Thank you. That's very good.
You got this from BitTorrent, didn't you?
No, you can download Redstar OS. You can go to a website here called, or GitHub, called Redstar Tools. And let me pull that up for you.
He must be very responsible for his by himself.
Oh, Kim Jong-un is amazing.
Yeah.
That's why Trump's building the wall, so we don't all flee to North Korea.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So Redstar Tools. So this has a script where if you really want to run Redstar OS and you don't want to deal with all the spyware and everything, you can run defuse.sh. And this will take out all the spyware and junk that's on there. And you can just use it like regular Fedora Linux. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could.
It'd be fun.
Yes.
Did you use it in the VM?
Oh, yes, of course. I did not connect it to the internet. I used it entirely in a VM. I did not touch any North Korean IPs. I was very good.
I don't think you'd be able to because they're all 10.
No. So there are 1,024 addresses that are publicly allocated to North Korea. And there's about 32 or 40 servers in that address range that you can reach. And they're mostly like banks and colleges and whatnot. Like one college, I think, has one IP address for the entire state. And so that's, so Shodan.io can get you all the information on all the publicly facing machines. Most of them are web or proxies. So.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's great. All right.
Yes.
The order Kim Jong-un is a president, right?
Kim Jong-un is the magnificent leader of the DPRK.
That's a president's name, right?
Kim Jong-un? Yes.
We also learn from him. We go to Korea and learn all this stuff.
He knows how to write a whole OS.
He knows how to write, and his first time playing golf, he got hole-in-ones every single time.
Yeah.
Perfect bowling score. He was walking when he was 3 months old.
There you go.
Yes.
Just
Wonderful.
watch the interview. He got no butts. That's all.
Oh yeah, he doesn't poop. Which is amazing. I've never met anyone that perfect. So.
Well, of course not.
Yes. Okay. How do I stop?
Just watch the interview.
Well, good. So you are going to use my machine, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Let me set it up here. Franchi, end your share. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, there we go. All right, good. Okay, nothing important. All right, good. Well, go ahead.
All right. So my presentation is about, hello. My presentation is about cybersecurity responsibilities and the consequences that we're having in this country. So my paper is about America's losing war of cybersecurity in the name of democracy and capitalism. And on April 30th of 2019, Trump was supposed to invest in the Navy's cybersecurity division, but instead is building, is going to spend $20 billion on a new ship for the Navy, and also and more buildings as well, because our country is on a our president's putting a Band-Aid on our country, so from going into total economic ruin. I mean, it's nothing to laugh about. I was kidding, but yeah, so that happened earlier this year, and yeah, so basically, it's an indication that the president is more worried about our economy than trying to invest into the future of our cybersecurity defenses. So yeah, that's that one. Oops, sorry. All right, here we go. In 2018, Congress attempted to get ahead of the 2020 elections by putting money into it, but we only used about 8% of the $380 million that Congress has approved earlier in the year. There's a lot of red tape in our country, and it's really hard to, there's a disconnect between states and the federal government. So that makes it a lot harder. And then in IT departments of the state, it's even more notoriously difficult to communicate with members of the team. So yeah, so the distribution has been the biggest hurdle of making sure that our elections don't get hacked by China and Russia. Sources are. The speed of greed is that greed is having negative effects on our capitalist society, especially in cybersecurity, because there's overpriced security conferences, because now it costs like a buttload of money to go to a conference, probably like in the $1,000 range. I mean, if they might give out student discounts, but that's really rare. Overpriced security products that don't really work or just are crappy. Aggressive salespeople that try to sell you on those crappy products. Micromanaging investors, people that give money to innovative startups and always want to be the helicopter mom.
1 minute.
And so yeah, so there's a lot of we're having a lot of problems with that, with our greed, and then social media dictating democracy. In China, the People's Republic, it's China's perfected the social merit system, and if you have demerits on your profile, you have no access to subway systems or your bank accounts. So America's tempted to go in that route right now in order to keep people online. And Facebook technology is basically dictating new policy, especially with our money, since they're going to create a new currency called Libra. And therefore, if you're jailed in Facebook jail, which I have been many times, you won't be able to access your Libra account. And Congress is basically fighting Facebook on why that's allowed. And yeah, and so, oh yeah, and also Cambridge Analytica as a company, this is just the beginning, because there's going to be many other companies that are going to copycat this style of creating algorithms so they can sell it to the highest bidder, whoever wants to run for president or whoever wants to run for office, whoever wants to get a seat of power. So that's going to be the future, unfortunately. Thank you.
Sure. Well, I just want to push back. Several of those things are being fixed. Besides, it's cheap. Anyway, all right, who's next? Or somebody else? Well, yeah, there was. I guess there's someone. I thought there's more people up here though. I got Caitlin, and you're Alex, right? Yep. So I suppose you have Ken and Michael. Okay. Have you got slides or anything? Yes. Okay. Then put them in here. Michael's online, but you want to go right. What's your name? Yeah, you just put it in here. Oh, easiest thing. All right, good. Now I'm gonna pause. All right, it's okay. We're gonna. I'll advance the slides. Just tell me. Okay.
So cybersecurity, we're cybersecurity professionals, and we have to, we have a responsibility, and we have to secure and to protect, the network at all costs, no matter what the situation is. We have to do our best to protect it, no matter what, because we have that responsibility. So cybersecurity or IT are the techniques of protecting computer networks, programs, data, also known as information. We use from unauthorized access or attacks that are aimed for exploitation. So network security, most of us are network security professionals. Other activities to protect usability and reliability and safety of the inner network. Okay. In this technological world we live in, we use technology in so many ways. Like, we bank online, like, we shop online, we can pay our bills online, we can even go grocery shopping online. And, we meet and we talk to people online, we store our data online, we also, we can work online. So like on this present time, there are a lot of resources and things that we can use by using technology in this time, you know. So as cybersecurity, as cybersecurity professionals, you know, we have a responsibility to secure and to protect the network and to make it safe and efficient and proficient, you know, for those who hack the network for selfish gain. So, you know how we have black hackers who be hacking, mostly like, you know, ransomware. And ransomware, you know, is just very bad because they con you into paying a fee for the bad that the hackers have done. So that's a very important you know, note. So, you know, it's a blessing, you know, that we have all this good technology. And so, you know, I'm just repeating this, as cybersecurity professionals, you know, we have the responsibility to secure and to protect the network. And so, you know, we have to, you know, remember that, you know, we have to do our best to protect and secure, you know, the network, you know, from getting hacked, to secure safety, you know, reliability, usability to all those who need and use technology in their daily lives. So that's it, y'all.
All right. That's it. Good on the time, well. Good. Thank you. That's good. All right. Good. And yeah, put that back. I think this thing's good. Good. All right. And who's next? There's somebody. Yes, I've got Mike. Michael, be online, perhaps. I don't think anybody wanted to do it online today. The message just said when it's all over, you wanted to test it for tomorrow. The first message, nope. At the top? Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael, you want to do your thing today?
Sure.
Michael, you know, Joseph?
Yes.
Is he still here? He is. Well, you want to do it? Stop the recording while we.
Yeah.
There, go ahead.
Today's topic is about how information and psychological operations boomeranged into the heart and soul of American society. At Fort Bragg, instead of the chow hall, I ate at a dining facility. The majority of soldiers eating here wore two distinct unit patches, which made them very different from me. The United States Army Special Forces were designed for 9 specific missions. Unconventional warfare and information operations are only relevant for today's topic. The other type of unit patch was from the PSYOP group. These soldiers are experts at psychological warfare who specialize in unconventional approaches to influence our enemies.
We're not seeing the slides. Are we supposed to be seeing the slides?
Yep.
All I see is the cyber civil war.
I'm already on number 7. Let me see.
Maybe you didn't share the whole desktop or something.
Okay.
Aha, something was there for a second.
Need to put them in a play mode.
Yeah.
Still don't see anything?
Nope, just the first one, the cyber civil war. It flickered for a sec. You might just page through them on this screen. See now I see nothing.
How about, did they change?
I don't see any desktop at all now. Looks
No.
like I'm not sharing anything. Try clicking share and see if you can share the whole desktop.
Well, I guess I'll fix this for the next time then, sir.
Yeah, I see a bunch of chat. Share screen text at the end. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll try this again next time. Okay, good. And I think that's it for the talks today, or a few more out there. All right. Well, there's always a few problems, not a big deal.